Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa salam tasliman kathira. This is a review of the important points that we took in our week 5 level 1B class. There were several students who mentioned that the information that we took, especially the morphology, was a bit daunting, a bit dense. And so being able to look at the information again and again and allowing it to sink in hopefully will be helpful in passing along some of those concepts. So there are two things that we'll talk about, and I'm kind of add a third one in there as we didn't discuss it before, but we will be discussing it. So since I'm doing the video anyway, might as well give you a heads up with it. So in this video, we're going to be looking at the maf oul form with weak letters and the Taabi3, which we discussed previously. Taabi3 is on the fa'il form for tabi'a. So I'm going to read the slides through, and then we'll go through the process. There's not a lot of wording in the slides. So we're changing weak letter verbs to the maf oul form. So we have several situations of this. The first situation is where the weak letter is in the beginning. So we have some examples of that, like wajada, wasala, and wathiqa. So in the case of wajada, we have the verb wajada, okay? Then, of course, we add a meme with a fatha. We put a sukoon on the first letter. We put a dhamma on the second letter. And then we add a waw, and then we have the lam, which is the dal. So remember, our formula was letter, vowel, vowel, letter. And we talk about the changes. Here we've changed the word by adding a letter. Here we've changed it by changing the fatha. We've changed it by changing the vowel mark, by turning the fatha into a sukoon. We've changed it here by changing the vowel mark as well. So we've changed the fatha to a dhamma. And then here we've added another letter, which is the waw, and then the dal, the last letter there, stays as it is. So we have letter, vowel, vowel, letter. So we have mawjood, mawjood on the form maf oul, mawjood. Here we take a verb that original ayn letter is ayn vowel is a kasra. It doesn't matter. The rule is still the same. So we have wathiqa. So we're going to add a meme with a fatha. Then we add a waw with the sukoon, exactly the same. Then the ainul fill here, which is the tha, will take a dhamma. We're going to add a waw, and then the qaf will come right there. So letter, vowel, vowel, letter. Okay, so we have mawthuq, mawthuq, and there's our word mawthuq. And here we have wasala. So again, in order to change this into the maf oul form, meme with a fatha, waw with a sukoon. The ayn, the second letter, has a dhamma. Yeah, we changed that, the vowel. And then the waw here will be added. So letter, vowel, vowel, letter. And then we add the final letter, the lam, which also happens to be a lam here. So we have mawsool, mawsool, mawsool. Okay, so mawjood means to be present or to be found. Mawthuq means to be trusted, from wathiqa, to have confidence in, or to be given confidence. And mawsool from wasla means to connect, so mawsool means connected. The second situation is where the weak letter is at the end. So we have tala, nafa, and nasiya. So I try to include each type. Here we have one with an alif mamduda. Here we have one with an alif maqsura. And here we have one with a bona fide ya. In each of these instances, it's going to be important for us to know what that hidden letter is. We saw for the previous one that the form is the same, so nothing really there to know. But here, it's important for us to know what that alif, or what that weak letter originally is. And we said that one way that we can know that is if it's an alif mamduda, then we know that the original letter is a waw. And if it is an alif maqsura, then we know that the original weak letter is a ya. And here the ya is apparent, so we know that's what it is. So we take tala again. That aleph indicates for us that this is a vowel. And so as we begin to write this, then what we're going to do is we're going to start again with our meme with our fatha. And then the first letter of the ta is going to take a sukoon. Everything seems normal so far. And then the lam, which is the third letter, is going to take a dhamma. And that's going to be followed by a vowel for elongation. And then that's going to be followed by another vowel, okay, with the two dhammas on the end. So the way we would say this is matluun. Matluun. Okay, and that's how it would originally be written. But then having these two vowels here, we don't want repeated letters. So what we're going to do is simply fuse those together. And so instead of having a vowel and a vowel, we're going to infuse those vowels together and just put a shadda to represent that they are two letters instead of one. Okay, because that's really what the sukoon is. The sukoon is really a doubled letter. One of them has a sukoon and the second one has a haraka. That's why it has a strong sound, because you're stopping and then starting again. So we're saying matluun. So you're stopping and starting again. So we want to look now at our next one, which is nafa. Again, we want to look at that weak letter. We see it's alif maqsura, which means that the original letter is a ya. So we're going through our same process. Meme with a fatha, same. Noon with a sukoon, same. Sukoon on the first letter. Fa with the dhamma, same. Wow, same. And then we get the ya with the two dhammas on it. So we have manfuyun. Manfuyun, which is difficult to pronounce. Manfuyun. That's what the original word would look like. But that's a bit difficult. And so what we want to do is we want to fuse these two as we did previously. The two weak letters, because they're both from the same weak family, they can fuse together. So when we fuse these together, then the ya is a stronger letter. It's the original letter. Okay, the original letter is a ya. So the ya is going to take control. And so when these are doubled up, it's going to be a doubled ya, not a double wow. So that's going to give us manfuyun. Manfuyun. But then we don't have that elongation. And so what happens is this ya here, the letter that the haraka or the vowel that goes with it is a kesra. As we've said previously, the kesra is the sister vowel of the ya. The dhamma is the sister vowel of the waw, and the fatha is the sister vowel of the aleph. And so since we're going to turn these into a ya, a kesra would be more appropriate for pronunciation. And so that's why we get manfiyun. So this ya here with the shadda is not really two yas. It's a ya and a waw. Why did we choose a ya instead of a waw? We chose the ya because the ya is the original letter. In order to preserve that elongation, that function of that first ya, remember that first ya is an elongation, that wow. But dhamma can't elongate a wow, so it elongates a ya. And so we turn this into a kesra to go with the elongation. So it becomes manfiyun. Okay? So nafa means to negate. If something is manfi, then that means it's negated. And so here we come with nasiya. With nasiya, we have the visible ya. It's not an aleph, but an actual ya there. So the setup would still be the same because we convert the alif maqsura into a ya. So going through the same process, we add the letter ma. We put the sukoon on the noon. We put the sa on the dhamma on the sa, on the ainul fi'l. Elongate that with the waw, and then put a ya at the end. Mansuyun. Mansuyun. That's our original word. But again, that waw and that ya together are complicated. So we change the waw to a ya because the ya is the original letter. Because that's still there to elongate, we're going to change that dhamma into a kesra so that it can elongate the ya that's there. And then the second ya is going to be used for the tanween. So we get mansiyun. 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 Okay? So again, you can watch that as many times as you want until it becomes settled in, and then you can ask as many questions as you would like on Sunday if there are things that you don't understand, but hopefully that's clear. Now what we haven't taken yet, and I'm just going to throw in there since we're doing this video lesson, so you got to be careful asking for video summaries, because then you get extra things. Okay, we have not discussed, but we need to discuss when the weak letter is in the middle. So I brought here 3 verbs, sana, qala, and dana. And just like with the weak ending, it's going to be important for us to know what that weak letter is. And in this instance, because there's not going to be a alif maqsura, you're going to have to look the word up, and you're going to have to see what the original letter is if you don't know the word itself. So here we have sana, which means to protect. We have qala, which means to say. It can also mean to take a nap. And if it means to take a nap, then that alif will be a ya and not a waw. And here is dana, which means to loan someone something, which has a ya in the middle. So we're going to start with dana, which we said has a ya in the middle. Okay, so this alif, and I just want to say this here because the way that we're going to process this is not the normal way, but we have to improvise because we haven't taken verbs yet. These forms are highly connected to the verbs, but as we have not taken verbs yet, then we can't make those connections. So we're going to have to do it my way. All right, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to go to make the maf oul form. So we start with the mim with a fatha. Then we have the first letter, which is the dal, with the sukoon. Then we have the alif. But as we said, the alif is not really its own letter, okay? It's really a ya or a waw. In this instance, it's a ya. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put that ya there. But just like that alif has a sukoon, yeah, here, this ya, we're going to put a sukoon on it. Then we have another waw, which for elongation, which also, even though we haven't written it, also has a sukoon. And then we have the noon. Now, 2 sukoons back to back is a problem. 3 is a real big problem, okay? So how are we going to deal with this? Basically, we have med. We can't even make a sound with any of that because that's all 3 sukoons, okay? So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to drop a sukoon, okay? That's the first thing. So now, in trying to choose which one we're going to drop, which one is not an original part of the word? That waw, okay? So it's a part of the form, but it's not an original part of the word. So because if we have to get rid of it, if we have to get, it sound like Porky Pig on that one. If we have to get rid of everything, we want to get rid of that waw, okay? So we're going to drop that waw off because it's extra. Then we're left with ma. We're left with the dal, the ya, and the noon. Now here we still have a problem because we can't have 2 sukoons together. And so since this can be used for elongation, we're going to change this first, the sukoon on the first letter. Okay? Again, let me repeat that. We cannot have 2 sukoons together. That will not work. So how can we get rid of the sukoon and preserve the letter? We've already gotten rid of 1 letter, but we don't want to do that here because we want to preserve the original letters of the word. So how can we get rid of a sukoon and preserve the letter? Well, if we use the second sukoon for elongation, since it's on a weak letter that can elongate, we can change this to a harakah that goes with that letter for elongation. And that's why it's important to know what this middle letter is. If it's a ya, then we're going to put the vowel that goes with a ya. If this is a waw, then we're going to put the vowel that goes with a waw. So since this is a ya, the letter that goes with the ya, the vowel that goes with the ya is the kesra. So we're going to change this sukoon to a kesra, okay? And so what we're going to get is madin. We get madin. We dropped the waw because we had too many sukoons. So we just got it out of there. We were only left with 2. We didn't want to drop any of these because they're a part of the original letter. The original word is dal, da, ya, noon. Okay? So instead of dropping one of these letters, we're going to preserve that ya for elongation purposes, and we'll make the adjustment here. Because this is a ya, when we go to change this to put a vowel here, we're going to put the vowel that goes with the ya for elongation, which is a kesra. And so this becomes madeen. A madeen is a person who is someone who is loaned to. Okay? Someone who is loaned to is madeen. Now we're going to look at qala. Okay? So same thing. We want to change this to the maf oul form. So we put the meme with a fatha. The qaf is going to have a sukoon. Because this aleph doesn't have a haraka, then that it represents a vowel. So we're going to put a sukoon on that. And then this elongation vowel, it's also going to have a sukoon. And then we have the lam, which is a part of the original word. So we get mak. We can't even make a sound with this because we don't have any letters. So what are we going to do? We said the first thing we're going to do, because we cannot have 3 sukoons back to back to back. You cannot have 2 sukoons together. So you definitely can't have 3. So we're going to drop that added vowel with the sukoon because it's not an original part of the word. We're then left with meme fatha, qaf sukoon, waw sukoon, then lam. We can't have these 2 sukoons together. So what can we do to preserve these 2 letters? Well, this waw can be used for elongation. And so we'll keep the sukoon here, but then we're going to need to change the diacritical mark or the vowel here to elongate with the waw. What vowel elongates with the waw? It's a dhamma. So this sukoon over the qaf is going to change to the dhamma so that it can elongate the waw and we can keep everyone together as a happy family. So we get maqool. Maqool. Okay, so we drop that waw because it was extra. Even though it's a part of the form, we had to drop it because we had too many sukoons together. Then we were left with 2 sukoons together, which is still impossible. But we found a way out while preserving the letters. We said since waw is a letter of elongation, we'll keep it with the sukoon to elongate. And we'll make a change, not to the letter, but to the diacritical mark. So instead of this being a sukoon, we're going to change this to a dhamma to elongate the waw. So it becomes maqool. So in this example and in the previous example, we dropped that waw. And we're left with maqool. So if qala means to say, and a qa'il is someone who says something, then a maqool is a statement. Yeah, a maqool is a statement. There are other words for statement, qawl, but maqool is also a statement. Last one we have here, which is sauna. Sauna means to protect, to take care of, to preserve. So again, same process, meme with a fatha. That sawt should have had a sukoon on it, not a dhamma. I got ahead of myself. So we have sukoon, 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 and then a noon. Okay? So that's how it should look. That's not pronounceable. And so we have to do the same process again. The first thing we have to do, get rid of the extras because we cannot have 3 sukoons together. So we're going to get rid of that last waw that was extra, that we added. We added the meme, we added the waw. So we're going to get rid of that meme. Get rid of that waw. Why don't we get rid of the meme? Because it's not causing us a problem. We want to preserve the form as much as we can. But we get rid of those things that we have a problem. Just like we did with that ya at the end of the fa'il form for the weak letter because we couldn't keep the tanween. We couldn't keep the tanween in that ya, so we dropped it. So here we're dropping it too. So we drop this extra waw, and then we're left with sukoon on the waw, sukoon on the sawt. Now, we don't want to drop both of these, either of these, because they're both a part of the original letter, of the original word. And so what we'll do is we'll keep the sukoon on the waw, and we'll change the sukoon on the sawd to a dhamma. Okay? And so we get masoon. So sauna is to protect or preserve. Masoon would mean protected or preserved. Okay? Again, watch those videos as many times as you need to in order to be clear about that. But those are the forms. The weak letters are a bit problematic, but it's just a process. We'll try to look at some examples, hopefully from the Quran, especially for this form here with the weak letter in the middle so that you can see it and get a little bit more comfortable with it. The third thing that we want to discuss is the function of the tabi' in Arabic grammar. Okay, so we talked a little bit about a tabi', and tabi' comes from tabi'a, which means to follow. So a tabi' is a follower, and it's called that because it follows the ism in a sentence. The word tabi' comes from the verb that means to follow, because the tabi' follows the ism that precedes it. The first tabi' that we are introduced to is the sifa, the not, which can both be translated as an adjective. There's more than one type of tabi', okay, but right now we're taking our first tabi', which is a sifa, or a not, which is an adjective. Now, if you look up sifa just like it is, you're not going to find it. Sifa actually comes from the word wasafa, which means to describe. But the waw is dropped and the ta marbuta takes its place. Same thing like wahaba. Wahaba means to give as a gift. The word for a gift is hiba. Hiba, which is written just like sifa. We drop the waw, we put a ha with a kesra, a ba with a fatha, and a ta marbuta. A hiba is a gift. Some girls are named, or ladies are named hiba. Their parents viewed them as being a gift to them from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Aw. Yeah, you can say aw there. That was nice and cute. All right. The tricky part is the translation. In English, adjectives come before the words they describe, while in Arabic, they come after. So as you're translating it, you cannot keep the same word order in Arabic in English. It's not going to work that way. And we'll see some examples of that. So how does the tabi' appear in Arabic grammar? The tabi' must agree with the matbu'a, yani the word that it follows. So that's the maf oul form for tabi', matbu'a. So the tabi' must agree with the thing that it follows in 4 key areas. Gender. They have to be the same gender. Male, male. Female, female. That's how it works. Number. If it's singular, it has to be singular. If it's dual, there are 2 of them, it has to be 2 of them. If it's plural, 3 or more, then, it has to be plural. Specificity. Specificity means it has to be specific. Yani it has to be particular. So if this is specific, then the tabi' has to also be specific. If it's general, like it has tanween, then it also has to be general. It has to follow it in that as well. Grammatical positioning, meaning if it's the subject, it has to be just like the subject. If it's the ism majroor, if it's following the ism majroor, then it has to be like the ism majroor. I want to stay away from saying that it has to have the same diacritical marks, yani dhamma, fatha, or kesra, because as we've discussed, not all words can take fathas, kesras, and dhammas. Some of them are what we call mabni, which means they don't change, like hadha. Hadha can be a tabi', but you're not going to see it taking a dhamma like the word before it, or a kesra like the word before it. So you have to keep that in mind. So we're going to say it follows it in the grammatical positioning. So if it follows a word that follows a harful jar, then it's just like it follows that harful jar. If it follows a subject, then it's just like in its grammatical positioning, it's just like that subject. Okay, so enough talking about it. Let's see some actual examples of it. So here we have Muhammad Talib Qadim. Muhammadun Talibun Qadim. Where's the tabi' in this sentence? It would be Qadim. It cannot be Talib. Why? Because Talib does not agree with Muhammad in one of those 4 key areas. Muhammad is specific. It's specific because it's a name. Talib is not specific because since it's not a name, it has to have alif lam or be mudaf ilayhi to be specific. Qadim is also not specific because since it's not a name, it needs alif lam to be specific. So these agree in number. They're both singular. They agree in gender. They're both masculine. They agree in specificity. They're both general. And they also agree in grammatical positioning because this is the predicate and this is following the predicate. So Qadim here, this is our tabi'. If we look at our next sentence, ذلك الرجل مدرس جديد. Here we have ذلك and رجل. ذلك is specific and رجل is specific. Okay, they're both in the subject position. They're both male and they're both singular. And so because of that, الرجل is a تابع for ذلك. Okay, we're going to talk about this example of a تابع more in class, inshallah, on Sunday. But just the idea that it does agree in those four areas. Male, male. Singular, singular. It's the subject specific. We said that the ism ishara or the demonstrative pronoun is specific, and a rajul is specific with alif lam. Mudarrisun jadid. Okay, now rajul and mudarris cannot be a tabi' for rajul. Why? Because this one has alif lam and this does not have alif lam. So these do not agree. Rajul and mudarris do not agree in specificity. But jadid and mudarris agree in specificity. So yes, mudarris and jadid is the tabi' for mudarris. So they agree in number, singular, singular. They agree in gender. They agree in specificity. They're both general. And they agree in grammatical positioning. So let's translate the first sentence. Muhammad is an old student. Muhammad is an old student. Okay, because qadim is a tabi' for talib. So when we put it back in English, it's going to actually go in the front because that's where we put our adjectives. Muhammad is an old student. Here we would say that man is a new teacher. That man is a new teacher. So because jadid follows mudarris, then it's the tabi', but we have to put it back in English. Number 3, where's the tabi' here? The tabi' here is sahal. Dars cannot be a tabi' for hada because dars is general while hada is specific. So they don't agree in specificity. But sahal is general just like dars, and they agree in everything else. So this is the tabi'. This is an easy lesson. This is an easy lesson. Hada darsun sahlun. The last one we'll do together. We'll do number 4 here. Abbasun tajirun shahir. Now it's going to be important for you to know Abbas is a name like Ibn Abbas. So Abbas is specific. Because it's specific, that means tajir cannot be a tabi' for it because this is general and this is specific. Our tabi', however, here is shahir because this is general and this is general and they agree in everything else, in gender, in number, and in grammatical positioning. So Abbas tajirun shahir. Abbas is a famous merchant. When we put shahir back into the sentence, we have to put it in front of tajir. Okay? So the rest, if you'd like, you can try it on your own. And then if you have any questions about them, you can talk about them with me on Sunday. So now we want to look at some Quran to see the practical application about what we've talked about. And so here, this is taken from Surah Al-Waqi'ah. You can see the number of the ayat. Remember that in the Mus'haf, the numbers of the ayat are tabi', mashallah. They follow the ayat. They don't precede the ayat. So this ayat here is 26, not 25. Even though you see the 25 here in the front, this goes with the one before it. That's why the very last ayat will have a number behind it. Okay, so mashallah, the tabi' is just following us. It's yatba'una. It follows us everywhere. The tabi', the follower is following us, even to our Quran lesson. So it says, wa ashabul yamin. So ashab and yamin, they cannot be, yamin is not a tabi'. They differ in specificity. They differ in number. Ashab is plural. And they also differ in grammatical positioning, dhamma and kasra. Ashabul yamin, the companions of the right hand. Ma ashabul yamin, What are the companions of the right? It says fi sidrin makhdud. So makhdud is a tabit for sidr. Sidr is masculine. Makhdud is masculine. There's no ta marbuta. Sidr is singular. Makhdud is singular. Sidr is general. Tanween. Makhdud is general. And sidr has no, it's majroor because of fi, and makhdud is also majroor. It has the 2 kasras as well. So this is a tabit for sidr. Next one we have talhin mandud. So talah, again, is masculine. Mandud is the tabi', which is also masculine. Singular, singular. Majroor, because they're also fi talhin mandud. Yeah, so the fi is, it's pushing its weight here in the next ayat. So even though we don't see a harf al-jar here, that's why it's got a kesra. And so even though it has a kesra, and this has a kesra too. And the fourth one was, in terms of it being general, this is general and this is general. No alif lam, no alif lam. Here in the next one we have وَظِلٍّ مَمْدُودٍ, yani also fi, that they're in all of this. So dhil, same 4 areas: masculine, masculine, singular, singular, general, general, majroor, majroor. وَمَاءٍ مَسْكُوبٍ, again fi. So again, masculine, masculine, singular, singular, general, general, and majroor, majroor, ism majroor following the harf al-jar. Finally, we get a feminine one, which is وَفَاكِهَةٍ كَثِيرًا. Okay, so fakiha is feminine because of the ta marbuta. Okay, so we have singular and singular, feminine ta marbuta, feminine ta marbuta. Yeah, general tanween, general tanween, and grammatical positioning kasra, kasra. So وَفَاكِهَةٍ كَثِيرًا, kathira is a tabi' for fakiha. Okay, so we just wanted to show you an example of that so you could see it. Again, because this is a video, you can watch it as much as you like until those concepts become firm. But I was asked to make a video to review the concepts that we've taken, and this is that video. I hope you found it beneficial. Again, if you have any questions, please bring them to class with you on Sunday, and we can discuss the situation or this lesson a bit further. And hope you enjoy your homework. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله على نبينا محمد.